Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. Yesterday, today, and going forward are going to be dark days in Kenya because when you see the government kills its children, then it tells you it's a government that has no future for its generation. There are some truths that William Ruto must know, and as even we move forward as a country in defending democracy and defending our Kenyan constitution that is supreme above any other Kenyan, regardless of the position you are holding. The President of the Republic of Kenya is below the law. It's not above the law. So in this particular video, I am going to inject some truths to the government of Kenya. How I pray that this video will find its way to William Ruto himself. I am speaking to people who are able to give him this video, and I pray that he gets this. Kenya is in 2025. Unlike during the times of Moi, when we had no Facebook, when we had no social media in short, all we had is VOK, Voice of Kenya. That was the only station and the only source of information in Kenya. These times, it was very easy to control information from one central point, State House. It was very easy. I have several listened to the late Leonard Mambo Mbotela, and at one time he explained how the military invaded the broadcasting studio and forced him to make some announcements. Those were the days when the state had 100% control over what Kenyans can receive. William Ruto, a student of Moi, because history tells us that he joined Moi in 1992 until Moi got out of power. So politically, William Ruto was groomed by Moi and followed by Raila and other politicians who he has worked with. There is some truth that is coming out that in 2025, it's not about the TV stations that you see. We call them terrestrial stations. Like ile tu unaweka irio, then ama decoder kwa nyumba and then you watch. It's not about it. When you see the government is shutting down stations, yani a whole government is wasting fuel from Nairobi to Limuru to go and invade transmission sites and shuts down stations. Ruto must be told and he must accept that in Kenya you can shut down stations, but you never shut down cameras, right? You can shut down K24, you can shut down NTV, you can shut down KTN, you can even shut down Citizen, because there are videos that yesterday the CIK and police stormed Citizen TV's broadcasting site in Limuru with an attempt to try and shut it down also. We are in a digital era where information flows within seconds. We have WhatsApp, whereby within a second, what has happened in Nairobi is received in Kisii, Mombasa, Kakamega, Turkana, America, where? Within a second, within a click. Yani kufinya tu tap, information has gone. So Ruto still thinks we are in 1992. Ruto thinks we're in 1992. They are using 1992 techniques in 2025. Yeah? Let me give you an example. Yesterday, the police barricaded roads heading to the CBD. Walifunga with spikes. They entirely closed down. They were searching matatus in case they are carrying Gen Zs. The borders were entirely blocked from accessing the CBD. But 20 minutes later, we saw thousands of Gen Zs kwa CBD. Walitoka wapi? If all roads were blocked, how did these young boys and girls access the central business district? How? As William Ruto uses 1992 technologies to block the Gen Zs, the Gen Zs are using 2025 means to access the CBD. And Ruto has refused to reform. So the truth here is William Ruto is going to fail because police are still in 1903 when Kenyans are already in 2032. For example, we have TikTok, which Ruto has no information about. Hata ukienda status umuulize TikTok ni nini, hajui, kwa sababu huyu ni mtoto alilelewa enzi za Nyayo, haelewi. Umuulize X ni nini, hata hajui. The people who run those accounts you see are Gen Zs in his office. Mambo ya YouTube na Facebook haelewi. And by the way, William Ruto is the product of social media. Because I remember in 2022, 2021, and 2020, when he could be blocked from even accessing TV interviews, the clips are online, Ruto decided to use social media in his campaign. So the product of social media is fighting social media. You can imagine. The product of media is fighting the media. Now, ukweli ni huu. As I finish. Ukweli ni kwamba Ruto must go sit in a certain corner himself. Bila advisor, bila anyone, bila hata Raila Odinga. He calls himself to a meeting and understands he is ruling a generation that is over-informed. He is ruling a generation that is highly informed. After he realizes that, he needs to sit down with these Gen Zs so that they tell him the modern ways of governance. Because where we are headed to is more dangerous than where we've come from. Not more dangerous to the Kenyans, more dangerous to those in authority. Yeah? He needs to sit and begin to study and do research on how to use modern technology in governing the generation that is coming up to forcefully revolutionize the old ways of running a country. Sasa ulifunga K24, ulifunga NTV, ulifunga sijui ni wapi. Did that also close down YouTube? And by the way, niwaulize tu wa Kenya, who watches analog TV nowadays? Yaani kuna mtu in this era, okay, wako ni wachache, but kuna mtu in this era mwenye anakaa sebuleni kwa sofa eti anaangalia TV yenye iko na irio ama decoder in 2025 when we have smartphones that do everything. YouTube iko, Facebook iko, TikTok iko, you can watch news from the comfort of your zone on. So Ruto must be informed. Kenya has moved steps. We are no longer in the days of Moi. So kama Moi alimfunza kufunga TV, lazima mtu mwingine amwambie kufunga TV is not the solution. Kufunga TV cannot block the flow of information, because wakati wa Moi there was no internet. Ukifunga VOK, Kenya goes into a blackout. Those are not the days. Tuko 2025 nani? Aish. God bless you. So in the next episode, asanteni sana.